Bounty hunting in Elite Dangerous has always been about balance, firepower, survivability, and control. But here's the problem. Some ships look incredible on paper, and then fall apart the moment a real fight starts. And then there are ships like the Python Mark II. On paper, it shouldn't dominate this role. But once you actually take it into a fight, start doing things most medium ships simply can't. So today I'm taking it to the high resource extraction sites, to see if it's really one of the most efficient bounty hunting ships in 2026, or just another overhyped combat platform. Quick note before we start. If your ship ever feels harder to control than it should in fights like this, it's usually not just the build. A lot of it comes down to how well you can actually apply your firepower. I leave my setup in the description if you're curious. But for now, let's see what this ship can actually do. Bounty hunting is still one of the most consistent ways to make credits in Elite Dangerous. You're targeting wanted ships, collecting bounty vouchers, and building reputation while you do it. But here's what most people don't realize. Profit doesn't come from winning fights. It comes from how efficient you win them. Time on target, damage consistency, how quickly you can move from one fight to next. That's what separates a decent ship from a great one. That's exactly where ship choice and control start to matter a lot more than people think. The Python Mark II built by Falcon Delias is a very different take on the original Python. It's not trying to be versatile, it's not trying to be practical. This is a combat-focused redesign built to trade utility for performance. You're getting 4 large hardpoints and 2 medium, which puts its firepower dangerously close to large ships. But you're still flying a medium platform. And that combination is where things get interesting. Because in bounty hunting, you don't just need damage. You need to stay effective while everything around you is consistently changing. For this setup, I'm running 4 large multi-cannons and 2 medium beam lasers. On paper, it's simple. Beam strips shields, multi-cannons shred hull. But here's where most builds fall apart. They assume you're landing consistent hits. Beam lasers only work if you can hold them on target. Multi-cannons only feel strong if your tracking stays stable. And the moment that breaks, your damage drops, fights take longer, and you start taking more hits than you should. That's why 2 players can run the exact same build and get completely different results. For utilities, Chaff Launcher, Kill Warrant Scanner, and Chill Boosters for survivability. It's clean, effective setup, nothing overcomplicated. If you want the full build, I've dropped it in the description. The first thing you notice when you take the Python Mark II into a fight is how stable it feels under pressure. In bounty hunting, you're almost never fighting in isolation. There's always something happening around you. Secured ships, multiple hostiles, target jumping in and out. And weaker ships start to feel chaotic in those situations. But the Python, it's close together. It's not the fastest ship, but it doesn't need to be. It has just enough maneuverability to stay on target, and more than enough firepower to end fights quickly. And that combination makes it feel controlled. And this is where something clicked for me. It's not just about having strong weapons. It's about how consistently you can apply the damage. If your tracking is slightly off, you miss shots. Your time to kill increase. And suddenly you're spending longer in fights than you should. That means more incoming damage, more risk, less efficiency. And that adds up fast in high-res sites. That's something I didn't fully appreciate until I improved my own control setup. What makes the Python Mark II so effective here isn't just raw power, it's balance. You got enough firepower to handle larger ships, but you're still agile enough to stay effective against smaller, faster targets. And that flexibility matters. Because bounty hunting isn't predictable, you're consistently adapting. Switching targets, repositioning, reacting to threats, and a chip that can do that without losing efficiency are the ones that actually make your money. Hazardous and high resource extraction sites are where everything gets pushed harder. Tougher enemies, more pressure, less room for mistakes. And this is where small inefficiencies start stacking up. You miss a few shots, you take extra damage, you stay in the fight longer than you should. And suddenly, what should be an easy bounty turns into a risk. High res doesn't punish bad builds as much as it punishes inconsistency. Now, the Python Mark II isn't perfect. It's not the fastest ship in the role, and if your fundamentals aren't solid, you'll feel it. Missed tracking, poor positioning, bad timing. These ships will expose all of it. It's not a carry ship. It rewards skill, but it also punishes sloppiness. And compared to the original Python, you're giving up versatility for pure combat performance. But if your goal is efficient bounty hunting, that trade starts to make a lot of sense. So, is the Python Mark II a good bounty hunting ship in 2026? Yes, it is. But not because it's easy and not because it's overpowered. It's strong because when everything comes together, it's incredibly consistent. And in bounty hunting, that's what actually matters. If your ship ever feels harder to control than it should in fights like this, it's probably not just your build. It's how well you can actually use it. I've linked my full setup and this exact build in the description, if you want to try it for yourself. Fly safe and I'll see you in the black.